Hi everyone, welcome to session number 37. Here we will study one more spectroscopic technique, that is IR spectroscopy. I think you have already studied the fundamentals of IR spectroscopy in the last semester. I mean semester number 5. The something like vibrational spectroscopy and the 0 point energy level, different transition, different energy levels, selection rule, and absorption spectrum, emission spectrum, and all these things we have studied, and the conditions for molecule to be IR active. So these things we have already seen in the last semester. In this semester, it is little bit extended, especially involving organic molecules. So what kind of stretching frequency you see for CH, OH, hydrogen bonded, hydrogen non-bonded, this kind of thing. But we will see once we will recollect the fundamentals which you have studied in the last semester. The region of IR spectrum, it's a broad spectrum, I mean a broad region, 400 to 4000 centimeter inverse. And principally you must be knowing there should be a change in dipole moment or absorption of for molecules to be IR active. These are the different vibrations which are possible. Stretching vibrations you must be knowing symmetric and asymmetric. I can say this is symmetric and this is asymmetric. So you can see it here how it exactly it is symmetric and asymmetric. So symmetric stretching, asymmetric stretching, and these are bending vibration. There are basically two types: stretching vibrations and bending vibration. Bending means it bends. One is in plane rocking, another one is in plane scissoring, and another one is out of plane wagging. This like this out of plane wagging, and one is out of plane twisting. One coming up and another one is going behind. Okay, out of plane twisting this. So these are all different types of stretching vibration and bending vibrations. And this we have already studied the force constant K, and nu is the reduced mass, and this is the frequency which is going to be absorbed in the IR region. So based on this equation the IR frequency changes. So if the reduced mass is high, nu is equal to m1 into m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So if nu is high, the IR frequency of absorption, see look at this, CH, if for CH higher than CC, CN, CO, because CO, CN it is very high based on reduced mass. Okay, that's why nu increases for CH. So if nu is lower, nu is higher. This nu is lower, this absorption frequency is higher. And force constant, of course, it is related to bond. So if the bond strength is higher, then frequency of absorption is also higher. That's why triple bond absorbs at higher region than double bond, then single bond. These are conditions for molecules to be IR active. You already know, because there should be a change in dipole moment for a molecule to be IR active. Change in electric dipole, then a non-polar bond in symmetrical molecule will absorb weakly. Okay, non-polar bond in symmetrical molecule. If it is very much symmetric, if it is total symmetric stretching, then weak absorption takes place. So this is just to recollect examples for IR active molecules. These are the one which are IR active, and these are inactive, IR inactive, because there is no change in dipole moment. And these are homodiatomic molecules. They show only UV visible region only. UV spectroscopy they can show. Rest all like this one, IR and microwave, they are inactive, as you already seen, because I discussed it homodiatic molecules during my discussion in UV visible spectroscopy. So these are the relation between the transmittance and absorbance. It was there in the last semester, and you also have studied under Beer-Lambert's law. These are some of the sample IR graph. So you can see this is how IR looks. one in absorbance mode, another one is percentage of transmittance mode. So most of the time IR what you see in the instrument, mostly they come in a transmittance mode, percentage of transmittance and wave number versus. In the x-axis we have wave number, in the y-axis we have percentage of transmittance. So this is a typical spectrometer, IR spectrometer, how it looks. So you have sample holder and IR lamp here. Then the output you will get here, that's the spectrum in the transmittance mode. You can change various setting parameters, whether you want absorbance mode, transmittance mode, or you want to pick up, make peak, all these things, and change the range of IR. All these things you can play with that. And here there are two ways. One is solid sample, another one is liquid sample. So solid sample usually mixed with KBr and made KBr, or you have KBr powder or KCl powder. You mix with your compound. Initially you take blank KBr, then you mix with your sample, then you record for solid sample. Liquid sample you usually press between KBr plates and you record directly the IR of that. Okay, these are different values because in this semester you have stretching frequency for various functional groups. That's all you have to focus on because these all were there in the last semester. Hopefully the questions in the Mysore University board, I don't think they will ask on this because it was already there in the first semester, I mean fifth semester, previous semester. So okay, concentrate on those, I mean stretching frequency for various organic molecules with different functional groups. So you can see XH, that is, or OH, NH, CH, where they come here. And remember, mostly the organic compounds, they show IR characteristic frequency from 900 to 3500, 900 to 3500, and below 700 it's a fingerprint region, it's called. So you can call this as a fingerprint region. Below 500, 600, 700. So it usually starts around 900, 970, and one aromatic peak comes. So then it usually is 680, 760. It depends. Sometimes 900, sometimes 680, sometimes 780. Somewhere 700, 710 per centimeter you will get on characteristic aromatic peak, CH out of plane bending, and then other functional groups all will come here, 3500 to 1000 up to 1000. So it's a bit easy to remember, and you don't have to remember the exact frequency. So it will be like range of frequency. So if I ask you where OH stretching frequency comes, so you can just call 3300 to 500. So you can recall like that, okay? Or CH stretching, again 2900 to 3000, like that. So need not be very much particular, very much strictly about saying that particular frequency. You can just call or recall the range. Okay, and this is where triple bond comes, 2100 to 2300, somewhere around. And carbonyl, that's what, 1650 to 1800. Again, it depends on what kind of carbonyl, because ester carbonyl comes something around 1740, and keto carbonyl 1710, and aldehyde carbonyl 1710, and keto carbonyl comes a little bit lower, like again it depends. And again acid carbonyl comes 1680, somewhere around. It depends on what kind of carbonyl again. So here also triple bond means C triple bond C comes at one place and C triple bond N comes little bit higher. So these are the different frequency for different functional groups. So you can see one by one. You can see this table. CH of alkanes comes somewhere around 2900. As CD it will come little bit higher, because of higher. Now you can see 2800 to 3100 somewhere. And CD is having little bit higher nu, so it comes little bit lower than this. Sorry for that. CD comes little bit lower than CH because reduced mass for this is bit higher. and the CH of alkenes comes something around 3000. Triple bond CH, that is of alkynes, comes little bit higher, and because stretching is, because the bond strength is bit higher here compared to this, that's why the stretching frequency required is higher. And of alkanes something around 1200. See, this is for CC, this is for C double bond C. Here CH of alkanes, CD of alkanes, CH of alkenes, this CH of this triple bond, like that you have to read. Okay, this is CC of alkanes, C double bond C of alkenes, C triple bond C of alkynes, which comes at around 2200, and C triple bond N, that is nitrile, comes at around 2200. CO comes around 1100. C double bond O of aldehydes comes around 1710. Of ketones comes a little bit lower, 1700 close to. C double bond O of acids comes 1680 to 1690. It varies again based on different groups attached to it. You can see the same in this table. Alkene double bond CH, corresponding to CH, it is C double bond CH of arene. So you can go through this table. Then we will see one by one stretching frequency of OH. Okay, when you talk about OH, you know one thing, that OH may have hydrogen bonding or may not have. So free OH and broad OH, it is. Free OH is the OH which doesn't have hydrogen bonding, okay, and broad OH you will get when there is a hydrogen bonding. So record the spectrum of 1-butanol in very dilute nonpolar solution. Okay, you will get free OH, because in a very dilute nonpolar solution can be something of hexane, or it can be something like pentane, something like that. You have to mix with, and butanol you should have very dilute solution. Then you record the IR of that. There is no intermolecular hydrogen bonding, because now molecules are too much apart. It's a very dilute solution in nonpolar solvent. Now there is no hydrogen bonding. Now OH comes very sharp. Broad OH, when OH group is involved in hydrogen bonding. Why there is a broadening of OH when there is a hydrogen bonding? So you can understand here. So here H bonded OH, this is broad OH, this is free OH here, and H bonded OH, here free OH. So what is done here? Here pure liquid, 1-butanol pure liquid is taken. Okay, then there's lots of intermolecular attraction and there will be hydrogen bonding. Now you dilute it, then what happens? There will be hydrogen bonding, but it is little bit minimized compared to this one. That's why you started getting one more peak, that is free OH, which comes as sharp peak. Okay, of course there is hydrogen bonding still, so you also get broad peak because of hydrogen bonding. And once it is very dilute solution, you will get only sharp peak. Hydrogen bonding is completely minimized, completely removed. Okay, why there is a change? Why OH stretching comes as broad peak in the presence of hydrogen bonding? Because see, hydrogen bonding, one thing what you have to understand is, it is not that constant. So when you have a hydrogen bonding with neighboring one, there will be change. Okay, there are two things you should notice. Because of hydrogen bonding, the one thing is it gets broader. That means it indicates that hydrogen bonding is not that constant. Okay, there will be variation in the stretching frequency. So because there are various molecules. So 1-butanol, if you consider, there are n number. I mean, 1 mole of butanol, contains 6.022 into 10⁻23 molecules. Okay, if you take, one drop of butanol and record IR, that means there will be so many molecules, and each molecule will be having different kind of hydrogen bonding with its neighbor. That hydrogen bonding is not that constant. Because of this, what happens? This stretching frequency is not that same for all. So stretching frequency varies too much. Okay, from one molecule to other molecule, the stretching frequency will be different. That's why you get a broad peak, broad range. Okay, Another important thing is, see here, the shift. This hydrogen bonded is bit, this side, and free OH is bit this side. That means, having higher frequency. That is why, because why this happens? Because hydrogen bonding is already bit stretched. OH, if you want to see that, so you have O here, and I write here O and H, and the next one, hydrogen bonding, how it happens, you have one more O here. Okay, now this will be different. This will be different. This bonding, this hydrogen bonding is different for different molecules, because strength will be different for different molecules. So that's why, because of lots of variation, so you will get a broad peak. Another thing, it is bit lower frequency compared to this one, because it is already stretched here. So if you want to stretch this, so it is bit easier. So that's why it is bit coming at lower frequency. Okay. Now coming to IR spectra of alkanes, CH stretching comes something around 2900 to 3000, and CH of what type? If it is alkanes, it is 2900, and CH of alkenes and alkynes comes something around 3000. Okay, 3083. So this is of alkene CH. Okay, and alkyne CH comes again 3100 to 200. These are different absorptions. Alkynes, so characteristic peak CH of alkynes, as I already told you, 3100, 300 somewhere, and this C triple bond C comes at around 2200, 2100 to 200, and in alkene, that C double bond C comes at around 1600. And if you see the spectra of aldehyde that characteristic carbonyl comes 1731. It varies again depending on this group. Need not to be very strictly 1731, 1718, 1720, something like that. And this is C 2900 is of CH of this. These are two characteristic peaks, and this is anyway fingerprint region, you don't have to remember. IR spectra of ketones, 1715, the characteristic absorption of carbonyl is 1715, and this is of CH. Example is butanone is taken here. See, notice the difference. For aldehyde it is 1730, close to carbonyl stretching frequency, and for ketones it is 1750, little bit lower. Why this happens? Because aldehyde, that C double bond O. So if you consider CO, this is H for aldehyde. Okay, and for ketone this is this one. Okay, now the CO stretching frequency depends on how strong this C double bond O is. In the case of aldehyde, what happens? Only this is the electron donating group. Okay, by plus I effect. Okay, this double bond is bit stronger, but in this case ketone, there are two electron donating groups, plus I groups. So okay, there are two electron donating groups. So now this bond is little bit weaker compared to this. Okay, that's why C double bond O strength is bit lower in case of ketones compared to aldehydes. Another reason for this kind of difference in IR stretching, you can also explain because you have studied nucleophilic addition reaction. Aldehyde undergoes faster nucleophilic addition reaction compared to ketone. Why? Because these two R groups are electron donating groups, and here there is only one R group which is electron donating. So here it's because of electron donating character, delta plus will decrease here. Delta plus will decrease means what? There's a pushing of this double bond toward this side in an inductive way, not in mesomeric or resonance form, but in an inductive way. So this double bond character slowly reduces in case of ketones, not in case of aldehydes. So this is how this is how you can explain why aldehyde is showing higher stretching and compared to ketone. So you can see that aldehyde is 1731 in case of butyl aldehyde. In case of 2-butanol, it is CO stretching is 1715. Okay, it is slightly lower compared to aldehyde stretching. So higher spectra of acids, characteristic peaks are CO and OH, and OH is it is hydrogen bonded, so it can show the broadening of the peak, and CO 1721. So the slightly minus I effect experienced by CO because of OH next to it. So 1721. So it varies again, 1680 to 1781 it varies. So these are the characteristic peaks here. If you see the higher spectrum of benzoic acid, OH peak here, CO here, 1600, this is 18, so maybe 1700 close to that. So this is what the characteristic peaks are. Somewhere 1200 odd you will see the double bond peaks, and aromatic peaks somewhere 900 you will see. Higher spectra of esters, the characteristic stretching frequency for carbonyl, which comes at around 1726, 1730, and it goes up to 1740 carbonyl stretching for esters. Ethyl benzoate, if you want to consider specifically, here COO is, of course it's an ester, but it is also next to this benzene ring, so there can be some kind of resonance possible here to some extent. That's why it appears at 1726, and CH stretching something around 2900. This is CH of aromatic, comes little bit higher, and CO 1100. If you consider methyl benzoate, characteristic peaks of these are double bond, that is something around 1200 to 400, 1400 somewhere here, and CO stretching comes 1725, CO single bond comes 1729, CO stretching, and 710 is characteristic aromatic peak, CH out of plane bending, and CH stretching frequency of aromatic, that is or it can be this aromatic comes somewhere around 3000, and this CH stretching frequency comes somewhere around 2900. Okay, that's all about IR. From the examination point of view, just remember the stretching frequency for various functional groups, and different types of bonds. It may be alkynes, it may be alkyne CH, alkene CH, arene CH, and C double bond C, C triple bond C, C triple bond N, and CBr, C double bond O, and ester, carbonyls, and carboxylic acid OH, CO, and ketones, amides. So you just have to remember this entire table. So don't forget this, because it may be asked in the university exam that you are given some spectrum and explain some the characteristic peaks. Suppose methyl benzoate, what are the characteristic higher peaks you will see, and sketch a graph. So it will be asked. So you have to sketch a rough graph. Need not to show exact frequency, but remember the characteristic frequency of ester, double bond C, double bond C, CH of alkene, CH of alkanes, these peaks. Okay, please go through some interesting videos, and these are some of the references, NPTEL classes, and Pavia book is very good book. Please read Pavia book. So it's a fantastic book for spectroscopy. Thank you for watching.